Hi, I'm Ryan. TDL formed about 6 years ago, and it's currently comprised of 15 member institutions, universities, research schools, and its membership is funded out of the libraries of these research institutions. Because it's also funded out of there, it's also directed by those same members. We take a lot of our cues and develop a lot of our policy based on what our members decide that they'd like to do collaboratively. It is established on a foundation of sharing, collaboration, and partnership. That is most of what I do for my day. I am not the deep technical person on the team. We have a whole hallway full of those folks. But so what TDL has essentially done is kind of broken into two halves. The group that does organizes things like trainings, our yearly conference, Texas Conference on Digital Libraries, and then we also have the team then that brings up shared technologies. Some of these technologies that we provide include, we provide a DSpace installation for every single one of our member institutions. We also do collaborative IRs, such as the Texas Water Digital Library. And what that is it's a harvested repository. It's grabbing data from our various member institutions on a single topic. We also are looking at preservation services using things like iRods, and very recently, because of our work in iRods, we've been invited to join a new preservation group that James Hilton from UVA is bringing together, that we're looking to do some work across the country. One of the big things that we do that's been heavily used by our members, and it is now getting some traction from across the country, including Sarah Shreves, which I know she was here. There you are. Okay. Illinois has been using our Vario tool as well. It is open source. They've actually been doing a lot of development on it, and we're looking to pull some of what their work into the trunk of the Vario software. That's actually been probably our biggest hit and our biggest win at our member institutions, in that it gives the faculty an idea of what they could be doing and what they should be doing as far as putting their research data into the institutional repository. Just as Alicia had alluded to, the biggest challenge we have is not so much bringing up the technology. That's cool, it's fun, it's something we like to do. Really, you want to check on that? But we don't have a whole lot of luck in getting the faculty to actually understand, why can't I keep this on my 3.5-inch floppy drive? It's worked, it's been in my drawer for years. It seems to be still there. So these are the kind of challenges that we're also facing. To get these folks to work together, because one of the big goals of TDL since its earliest inception is something that's only, I think, both our member libraries and the researchers are starting to get their heads around, is that these tools can work in conjunction with each other. These tools are not just there for the universities to silo and use. They're there to do things like the Texas Water Digital Library, where these different researchers can come together and say, okay, we really do need a central place for all of the water data and all of the theses and dissertations written about water research in Texas. Where can we put that? And so we're also looking for additional projects like that we can do. Recently, we had one come up from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. The VP of Research there, Luisa Fuentes, has launched something called RCN Caesar. It's going to be 19 different universities working together across Texas to study the coastal area. We also provide all of our members website software, so they can build a single website to then use as a hub to pull together their different data tools, including, okay, here's a link to our DSpace installation, here's a link to our wiki. We also provide journal, the OJS software to all of our members, because we're not just looking at stuff that we're scanning in, we're not just looking at stuff that's necessarily data out there. We're looking for grabbing born digital information. So say you were organizing a conference, you could grab all your conference papers. It would end up in our open conference system, as well as then we would then later push it out to your repository. The journal software is very similar. to that as well. And then we do offer Media Wiki. We haven't gotten a huge amount of uptake on it, and we are looking at what we can do as far as using the new wiki tools that are built into WordPress. We want to make it as easy as possible for our faculty. That's one of the, of course, the big hurdles. We are directed by the governing and member boards. We do have this kind of House and Senate structure with our membership. We do have a collaborative development policy. And what we do a lot of is we develop user groups around a particular topic. We do have a metadata working group. University of Houston's been heavily represented on that. UNT was a member. We had some representation from them. And so what we do then is then provide that data, those policies that the metadata working group comes up with, and we put them on both the metadata working group website and then link to them from our own website so that the TDL.org website becomes a portal that anyone, not just from a TDL membership, anyone can come in and take a look and see what we're doing. That also includes, we've written a lot of copy as far as data management plans go, so people have boilerplate they can come to if they're TDL members and say, okay, here's all of the infrastructure written up by TDL that then we can take these few paragraphs and then their 2-page submission that they need to do for their data management plan for the NSF or NIH, then they have some boilerplate that they can work with. I know U of H actually could work on a tool, and we've talked to Michelle a bit about that, about integrating that in as a TDL feature. And then, of course, California Digital Library's written a pretty cool DMP tool as well that we're taking a look at. We are very open access preferred. The idea, of course, is to get our data and our research out to the world. That seems to be a pretty big thing politically these days, and that is really something that we are asking folks to do. That doesn't mean that we're not providing dark archives. That doesn't mean that we're not looking at, we're not going to make our preservation stuff suddenly open access to the whole world. We do want to have open access copies. We do also have the Texas Conference on Digital Libraries I mentioned before. Very cheap. It's coming in May. Austin's beautiful then. I invite all of you to come down. The biggest thing that we're working on now is making sure that our librarians are being proactive. Alicia talked about this, and I cannot stress enough. You can have all the technology in the world, but until you get active in your libraries, it doesn't really matter. You can be building the coolest car, but until you actually drive it on the road, it doesn't really matter. So we're working right now to develop promotional materials in collaboration with our members and creating awareness on the campuses through the researchers and the research offices, getting out to those VPs of research. So that's something we're doing at both the librarian level and we are doing at the dean level and all of our member levels. The deans, by the way, are the folks who sit on the governing and member boards. That's the level that we're working at with our consortium. We're trying to make sure that this is something that the library from the top level has bought into so that potentially the presidents of the universities have heard the name TDL. They understand what it means to have this collaboration going on. And that's really it. I tried to keep it under 7 minutes. So.